but you are still doubting your worth because of what you went through. How then should you move from one step to another? From a heartbreak to being someone who will be a great speaker who gives hope. From being suicidal to being a great individual who will give hope to people who are suicidal. From being impregnated and left to being someone who will give hope to those young ladies who are being dumped by guys. How can you tap into your emptiness and create something great from that emptiness? Because most of the times, after being wounded, we become stuck and we don't know how we can move from one step to another. But when God is looking at us, He's saying, you know what? This is a great individual who can conquer the world. Only if he or she can realize the power which he has. Actually, the emptiness of humanity is an opportunity for divinity to manifest its productivity. Whenever you feel like empty, like you are empty, it is an opportunity for divinity to manifest its productivity through you. When you're saying, I'm wounded and I'm giving up on myself, God is saying, I will never give up on you. I want to create something. You know, today I want it to be more spiritual than it used to be. You know, when God is looking at you, the moment you say, I'm giving up, God is saying, this is an opportunity for me to be productive. Because there is emptiness here I need to fill. I know that there is no human being who can come at this person and fill the hole which I failed to fill as God. So I'm the only person who can fill that hole, and that person become productive and be a great influence to other people. Because you are connected to the source, not to boundaries, not to ethnicity, but to the source who is God Himself. That's how entrepreneurs look at things. They tap into the emptiness of the society. They see a gap in the market. When they see this empty space, they say, we are here to fill the space. Then they create great leakers out of a space which was empty, out of nothing. So when God is looking at you, He's saying, this is my project. I need to have someone who is so powerful. Before he dies, he influences and inspires many people. The greatest danger which we face is that we die before we die. And if you die before you die, it's a great challenge. My fear is not a physical death. No. It is actually living a life without a purpose. And dying before you die makes your life miserable. And today I want to challenge you as I propose these 2 steps. Number 1, take responsibility of your life. Take responsibility of your life. Don't be a crybaby in life. In as much as it is good. Remember, I'm not talking about counseling here. I'm not talking about maybe being vulnerable. I'm talking about someone who is always crying and complaining. Someone who is always crying and complaining. Crying and complaining. Don't be a crybaby. Take responsibility of your life. You are in control. You are the change you want to see. If you want to achieve great results, know that without taking necessary steps, you are not going to get the results which you want. You are the change you want to see. I still remember at one point in time in my life, I was stuck, anger. I was angry and I was in bitterness. I don't know how to explain it, but I was in bitterness. I was angry against my parents. Up to now, I have never lived with my parents, but they are alive, right? So it was a journey where I learned many things. In the process, you almost die. In the process, you are abused. In the process, you face some of the hardest life circumstances. You question yourself. You ask yourself, why God? But when I came to a point where I said, you know what? I can change how I do things. Right now, I love the man whom I am. Why should I spend time blaming my past? instead of taking my past, projecting it in a way that can inspire the world. My brother, my sister, when I did that, I became dangerous. No one from that time ever controlled me. No one from that time ever stopped me. I became dangerous. From sleeping in the bush, from facing certain different life circumstances, from being chased away from home, from being suicidal, I became someone who is so dangerous. Speaking here in Zimbabwe and outside Zimbabwe, traveling not only in Africa but even outside Africa. Why? Because I discovered my niche and I said, Lord, I will use my past to transform these people who are here, not only in Africa but outside Africa. You can do it, my brother. You can do it, my sister. Because if God is with you, you can transform many lives. I always say to young people, I think this year, I've spoken to more than 5,000 young people this year only, up to today, and roughly more than 2,000 university students this year only. And what I always say is, young people, don't be deceived. It's not about money. It's not about money primarily, but it's about having a great mindset, a positive mind where you can inspire, where when someone have a conversation with you, they can say, this person is a great person. Why do I say that? I say that because I don't have money. I'm not a millionaire. I don't have even 50,000 on my account. 50,000 US. I'm below 50,000. So it means I don't have that money which people talk about. But I fly without paying because they pay what I give them. So these meetings are meant to be more realistic to you and for you to understand that you can achieve anything you want at this stage. At this stage, don't wait up until you have 40 years. No, don't wait. At this stage, you can achieve anything. We are saying it because it's not only about money, but it's about being a unique person who attracts money. The second proposal, life will be hard. Life will be hard. We are not yet in heaven. We are not yet in heaven. Do not be too heavenly focused that you become earthly useless. And don't be too earthly focused that you lose eternity. Let your life be balanced. Don't be fooled, young people. I hear most of the times when presenters are presenting, it's okay. That's their philosophy. But I always stand on this. Don't be too heavenly focused that you become earthly useless. And don't be too earthly focused that you lose eternity. Many people, they say, there's no God. It's okay. I agree to that. I won't dispute. If you are believing it, it's okay. They say, we were colonized because of this gospel. It's okay. It's okay. I don't dispute. They say, whites came with this gospel, but no one brought Jesus here. God was already here before whites came here. He was already here. No one brought God here. He was already here. So we have a divine touch before talking about white. So we need to be balanced so that we become more successful. Most of the times we think that if you follow God and if we are principled, we are going to be hijacked by the world and we are not going to succeed. I stand here, I say, I have met many young people who are influential around the globe, and I don't apologize that I worship God. I allow them not to, but I don't apologize because I have seen how good it is. But in the process, to be honest, life will be difficult. Life will be difficult. And what I want to suggest to you can save you from many drama, from many heartbreaks, many disappointments, and so forth. What I want to suggest to you right now, life will be difficult. One of my favorite speakers, I know Coach Como, I love him so much. One of my favorite speakers says, life is unfair. It's not fair that birds eat worms, but they still do. It's not fair that we as humans, we eat chicken, but we still do. Chickens deserve to live, but we survive on killing them. That's how life it is. There are people who capitalize and survive on your emptiness. In this life, some will take advantage of you. In this life, some will abuse you. Actually, I always say in these sessions, I talk differently when I'm in counseling, but when I'm in front of you presenting, I say it as direct as it is. Most of the times we are not abused by people. We abuse ourselves. Then people confirm the abuse which we have done to ourselves. If you tell people stop, they'll stop. They'll know that this is not a ground to play. But if you allow people to control you, to use you, to abuse you, they are not starting, they are ending the process. So in these sessions, we want to come up with the strong ladies who know how to stand on their own. If they are taken advantage of, let it be through harsh terms, not through agreement. And then you call it abuse. Life will be hard. You're going to face heartbreaks, you're going to face disappointment, but how do you pick yourself from that? You need to understand that God has a mission and a vision for you. He knows you better than you do. You need to surrender to Him and make sure that you define your identity by attaching yourself to God, not to anyone. Can you turn to your neighbor? Say, neighbor. 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 You are so powerful. Say, neighbor. God loves you. I also love you. You have never been told by anyone, except when they are approaching. That is a great, great misconception. So we are saying, take responsibility of your life. Life will be difficult, but know that you can capitalize on those hardships. The way you view it, let it be so unique that you define your own success. No one defines it for you. Before I end, allow me to share this. I don't still remember, but I had an interview on ZBC. That was my first interview, actually, that time. People approached me, said, you need to write a book. Every time when I speak, people approach me, you need to write a book. But I was so hesitant and skeptical. I said, no, I don't think I'm at a position where I need to write a book. But last year, I prayed about it and wrote a book. And this book was published in February this year. But I've sold more than 400 copies. Wow. It was published this year. And I always say it is not because maybe it's me. No. I don't want to put myself in the picture. But what I know is that God has a purpose through me. And that purpose, we need to fulfill it. And what are you going to leave for the world? What are you going to leave for the world? Besides a Facebook account, which is going to be taken by someone when you have many followers, right? What are you going to leave? Not through writing only, but what is it that you are going to create or innovate for the world to benefit? And I want to challenge you today as I close. Excellency, excellency, excellency. Like what Dr. Martin Luther King said. If a man is called to be a street sweeper, he should sweep the streets as Michelangelo painted pictures. He should sweep the streets as Shakespeare composed poetry. He should sweep the streets as Beethoven composed music. He should sweep the streets so well that all the host of heaven and earth will pause to say, here lived a great street sweeper who did his job so well. If you can't fly, you better run. If you can't run, you better walk. If you can't walk, you better crawl. But by any means, never stop moving. For those who stop moving are dead. Don't die before you die. Aluta, continue.
Wow, wow, wow. Can you please let's give them a big round of applause. Those were yesterday day. Yeah, that is. Yeah. First of all, thank you so much for this transformative words. This was not only a presentation just for the legacy, talking about people, saying you will do it, you will do it. But it was a topic, presentation. We were hearing the word of God. At the same time, being believers will succeed also in terms of entrepreneurship, which is a very profitable way of solving problems, right? Okay, so let me try to recap what has been saying here. All right. So, what have you heard about creating a legacy? I hope these are some of the questions that we have had. So, there are many things that we can do on earth, and he said that there are things that God can do for us, but there are things that God actually did already. Gave you the senses, gave you something that you can do on earth. So that is something you need to what? You need to move. But when it comes to casting out demons, then you need the divine intervention. Did you get that? You also talked about it starts with the mind. Les Brown, I like him when he says that if you want to become successful in your life, you've got to change your mindset. Because you don't get in life what you want, but you get in life what you are. Right? So powerful with that. So it starts with the mind. And then entrepreneurship, I like it when Vusit Mbekwayo says it, and he said it in a more elegant way than I myself ever could. He says that entrepreneurship is all about solving problems. And especially for us Africans, there is nothing that we can do in Zimbabwe that has not been done, for example, in the United States of America. So he says that you just do what he calls case. He says that you need to just cope and apply everything, right? You just need to do a bit of panel building, a bit of being innovative so that it suits the environment that is closer home. Okay? And you don't need to chase success, and I agree with that. How many of you agree with that? Because Robin Sharma says that if you are in this mode of chasing success, monies and stuff instead of solving problems, you will then instead you then move away the magic that will really give you money. Because entrepreneurship is all about solving the problem. So what happens is that money will now become just but a byproduct of the problems that you are solving. So entrepreneurship is all about solving the problems. And we need to thank the Lord, because we are not here by mistake. And Vusit Mbekwayo says that we are not here by mistake. This thing, called earth, trillions of people that exist, most of the things are not yet discovered on this thing called planet Mother Earth. The trillions and billions of the people that have inhabited this earth, and some of the things are not yet discovered. We are trying to forage the Amazon forest, and we have not discovered new species. We are trying to get to Mars when we have not reached the depths of our own oceans. That, to me, I refuse to believe, is simply scientific conflicts. I think there's a grand plan. So our Lord knows everything. You are here because of the purpose that is bestowed upon you. So if you can begin to follow that, get help, meditate upon the word of the Lord, we will really get there. So and you also talks about success being the thing that you attract by the kind of person that you become. Jim Rohn also emphasizes that point. He said success, you will not chase success, but success is that thing you attract by the kind of a person you become. So it's all about the transformation, and also about the issue of bitterness. We know that probably we are not educated to that extent that we become globally competitive. When it comes to issues of formal education, maybe you don't have it. Maybe you're facing a lot of problems when you're growing up. We know that. But to buttress his point, Ovusi says that it's either you can have an emotion or progress, but you can't have both. So choose you now. So without wasting much of your time, I think the last point he emphasized about the thing of what do you want to live on earth? And I'll add on to what he said. He says that you should not only live, that Facebook account, the kind of following that you have. And Arthur Marara says that you mustn't be known by just leaving behind only your surname. Kungozikana kuti avana vanduwo vanana ningi, kungozikana guva, and generations to come will forget about you because you haven't left any legacy on this earth. So I want to thank you so much for listening to such transformative words. And I think for this, at this point in time, I will leave it for question and answer. We are going to have a question and answer session for those that feel they've got the questions to the great leader that we have today. You are free to ask, and I hope you answer that. Okay, so another round of applause as we prepare and think about the questions that we want to answer. So coach is ready for now. Vane mvunzo. Ayowaga, ungatibvunze. Ungatibvunze. Any questions? He's a pastor, he's a coach, right? Entrepreneurship, any questions. Even if the questions that you might have that are outside the presentation that you was having here, about the books. Do you know how you can write a book? Do you do it on your own? How do you start a business? How do you, conquer those, challenges of life? How then did he become the person that he is today, from sleeping in the bushes, the streets, and here he's on ZBC, he's being interviewed, traveling the world, going to, those countries outside Africa, and becoming the assistant director of, the marketing director of, Hubert Science College, everything that he's doing today. How then did he do that? So I think we have questions. May we please ask? Okay, say your name and then you ask the question. Yes.
My name is Charles, a social scientist.
Okay.
So I want to ask about books. How do you get to publish books as an individual without any organization coming into play?
Okay. Have you heard the question? Those are who are in the breakdowns.
Right. From my side, I used another organization. So I'm in the process of being trained to publish for myself. So that's the best answer I can give. This one, I used another organization.
Is it that accessible? It's somewhat expensive because many of the writers which I come across with as an individual, they fail to find the right sources to publish their books.
How do you define expensive? Maybe.
It really depends on how much is needed.
All right. I think around 400 US. Whole process.
How many books?
Now, proofreading, editing, typesetting, and so forth. Then you print your own copies. For starters, it's best that way to avoid many mistakes. But if you have seen the process, you then realize it's not something which is difficult. So that's why I want to publish for myself the coming one. So yeah, I think it was around 400 US. It wasn't that expensive. All right, I understand. Yes, that's true. Yes. Another one.
Another question, please. So he's been asking about the process of the process of publishing a book, and also it's also the essence of this kind of networking sessions that we have here. These are we invite different speakers that are coming here. They are also some are even teaching people on how to do that. And I still remember we once had a session here with, was it Coach Tafazo, right? He actually did a full session here just for free like this, step by step on how to start to write a book, how do you edit, how do you do that. So sometimes we don't need capital in terms of cash. But social capital like this, I think, is very important than everything else. Because the problem that we have, people are being motivated maybe on social media, and then they fail to go out of the door, go to the networking sessions like this. Sometimes people, they come here and then they say, who wants to publish a book? I'm going to help you for free. Maybe you can just, a little bit of, maybe you pay maybe 30%, 20%. We actually have coaches that does that. So I think sometimes, networking sessions like this, they are very important. Yeah. Because I myself, when I want to publish my book, I can just go to Coach Talent, right? He has got his organization where he also hires speakers. So what I do is that when he wants speakers to, speak at his organization, I can go there, speak for free, maybe later on in exchange of him helping me on how to publish a book, something like that. So sometimes it can be hard when you're just sitting, in your house, and then you think about publishing a book, you're alone. So I think sometimes the process can be really very easy if you can begin to, extroverting, interacting with great leaders, going to networking sessions. Sometimes just to save for free, you can really do, some work, even something that you think is very expensive in Zimbabwe, you can actually have it for free. So I think that's also very important. This is a process, it's not an event, but very possible and doable. Another question, please.
Social capital.
Yeah. Another question? Kana msina to bvunza isusu?
Don't create questions. Maybe it was clear, yeah.
Okay, so we want to thank you so very much. If kana paine vangu vanenge vazofunga ma questions soon after the picture that we have is our culture. After a presentation, we can have a group photo, and then it's also the purpose of these events to actually network with one another, just exchange phone numbers, get to know one another, the kind of business that you do. Sometimes it will be helpful to us, helping one another. And then please, can you invite other people to come each and every Thursday? It's for free. We would want to apologize because the elevators are not working just for today, not every day. So next Thursday, please do come back and bring the family of yours, friends, colleagues. We need them here. This thing is for free. And what interests me very much is that I don't know what happens in Zimbabwe. It seems that many of us, we love too much entertainment than edutainment, and we tend to criticize the knowledge mentions. But I think if we really want to progress, we can do it. Most of these things are just for free, and probably next time you are going to be the same person who will be, in front, telling the people your history. People are facing so many things in their lives. Probably they just want to hear one or two words from you, and then their lives, can be transformed. So you have no idea. Let's put our words out there. Let's try to help one another. Let's speak. Let's write books. Let's go to seminars. Let's go to, courses. International Coaching and Mentoring Foundation. I myself and him, we are very, proud products of this organization called the International Coaching and Mentoring Foundation. Business courses. If you want to become a business coach, if you want to become, a professional speaker, if you want to become a life coach, if you want to become an event someone, everything that you want to do, courses are done here, and you can actually become certified, licensed, and you start your own business as a coach. So this is it. I want to thank you so very much. If we no longer have other questions, then I think we can just have a group photo and then we'll call it a day.
I thought you were going to ask how much is it?
Yes.
How much?
All right. No, for you coaches it's $10. We won't go for 20. So
it's $20. So maybe it's a 50% discount. Wow.
So yeah.
So maybe, coach, you can just tell them if for even those that are home, they want to follow you. Well, how do they get in touch?
Okay. By the way, we are online. So, right, those who want to follow me, to follow Christ through me, they can get in touch with me on +263
Okay.
78
Okay,
26 83 089 +263 78 26 83 089. Then my Facebook account, after saving that number, you just type Talent Ncube, Talent Ncube, Ncube. You see I have a verified account, verified by Facebook. So that's where you can get me. Yeah, for now, let us use those two. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for just to follow before we go. More business phone number.